Hey guys, how you doing? Joey Battista here. Hey, listen, today we're going to talk about something that every entrepreneur must do and should be mastering right now, and or every early entrepreneur. You can get ahead of the curve if you want to grow correctly and you want to grow profitably and you want to be growing the right steps and you want the chances to increase the chances of your business to survive. We're going to go over these three things to help you. So listen, if you find value in the message here today, subscribe. And if you know someone who can help out, share it with them. So that being said, let's dive right in. We're going to go over the first thing. And I'm going to break it down simple. For some of you that are further along in the process, I can tell you this. If I came into your business right now today, guarantee you that 90% of the people watching this, even if you're an experienced entrepreneur, you may have a bookkeeper. You may have somebody in there that you hired to do your books. You may think you have some sort of financial management, right? And that's the first one. Count your money. You got to be able to count your money. And that way you know you have internal control on the business, because that being the case, why is it so important? You know, a lot of early entrepreneurs, no matter what the case may be, and you know, everybody comes in and they have ego and pride in it. But the reality is if they're open and honest with you and you begin to go in and you're like, hey, so what's going on in your business? Anything in terms of how money's flowing in and out, employees, vendors, advertisers, you name it. How's money coming and going? Well, you know, Sarah, Joe, Tina, Bobby, right? They're handling this. And the reality is it's an honor system. Honor system that's based on, well, they should be doing this, or they should be doing that, or I told them to do this. What it's not based on is an actual system, an actual financial management, whatever. It could be QuickBooks. It could be whatever it is that you use in your business currently. But the reality is have you mastered it? Is your financial management, your financial statement, your profit and loss, your QuickBooks, wherever you're at, is it baked in to how you operate your business? You know, a lot of people have those things and they have them. They're like, oh, hey, yeah, I need that. I need to borrow money. Or, oh, hey, I need that because I need it for a reason, right? Like, for example, you have lines of credit, or you need a line of credit, or you're applying for an SBA loan, or whatever the case may be. Financial management becomes something that you do because of something else you want to get. And in the process of doing that, what happens is you miss the mark in business. Being an entrepreneur, a lot of times we get caught up and we're good at the thing. We're good at the product. We're good at inventing. We're good at selling, or we're good at certain things in the business. We're good at creating. We're good at building, but we're not good at financial management. Now, that being the case, this becomes a skill. And if you go ahead, and my goal for this is to give value to the end user. And for someone, whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur and you're a pro that isn't doing what you know you should be doing, or you're an early entrepreneur, there's almost certainty there's no one that's an entrepreneur for any amount of period of time that's not going to tell you that, hey, I had these problems when I started out. And it's going to go something like this. Well, you know, I had this person and they were a bad employee and they were dishonest. And I thought they were paying bills, or I thought they were collecting money, or I didn't know they were overpaying, or I didn't know they were double paying. And there's going to be a whole lot of fingers getting pointed everywhere. But I want to share this with you, is it's your business. So at the end of the day, you can delegate responsibility, but you can't delegate accountability. You are accountable for what happens in your business. So if you begin to go and start out, or you're the seasoned entrepreneur, I want to be able to see that statement. If I want to pitch to private equity, or I want to go on Shark Tank, what's going to happen in that scenario? They're going to want to go in and they're going to want to see how I'm thinking, acting, doing, and being in the business. And if I can demonstrate to a potential investor, or what about when you want to recruit that seasoned employee and they come in and they're like, hey, you know what? I think I can help you grow this. I can help you grow this business to the next level. Or you already have a company and you want to drop some scale on it and you get somebody that's done it before. They're going to want to see that you have the skill of utilizing the financial statement within your business. This is a normal request for people to have, because this is demonstrative of the CEO, of the leader, of the founder, of the business owner, right? This is an opportunity for you to showcase that you're aware of what's going on in your business. People talk about KPIs. KPIs feed the financial statement. It also gives you a general view on how to predict profitability and how to become profitable. Like a lot of times in the business, you'll think you're doing things and you think that they're well for the business, but if you can learn to count your money, right? And I'll tell you something, it's really simple. When I first started out in business, only way I knew I was making money, this is the truth. The only way that I knew I was making money is I paid every bill. So every invoice came through me and I verified it. I was handwriting checks. And I didn't really have any good financial statements. And what happened is the only way I knew I was making money is because my assets were growing and my bank account balance was going up. So I would just look at the bank account balance every month. So for some of you early entrepreneurs that are cash crunching, or some of you seasoned entrepreneurs that are going in there that are neglecting to look at your books, your bank statements are going to tell you where you're at. It doesn't have to be really complex. I like to go ahead and I call it like a cheat sheet, right? Like we have all these fancy formulas, and I've learned them all because I've borrowed millions of dollars and done tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars in deals throughout over the years. And I've learned these skills. But breaking it down to the most simplest form, it's just, you got to be able to count your money. And it doesn't really matter what system you use initially or even long term. But what matters is are you actually doing it? You expect these superhuman results from both your company and from your employees and or from yourself and or from your idea, from your passion, right? We get into businesses. Some of us, we live in the modern world. So, it's very easy to get sold on the idea of passion project and turning it into a business. But I can tell you, if you get a business that's profitable, that you're served to a high level, that helps people, you will ultimately become passionate about it. And if you get a business that costs you your health, you hop into your passion, it costs you your health, pressure on your family, and takes all your personal time from you, I can tell you this, your passion will turn to something you hate. So with that being said, I want you to first and foremost open up your eyes and ears to counting your money so you're not one of those people that's going in there telling horror stories, blaming it on other people. You're one of the people that says, you know what? I saw Joey Battista on YouTube and he planted this seed in my mind. He planted this seed in my mind and said, hey, let's count some money. Let's at least know where we're at. Number 2, sales. A lot of times I talk to entrepreneurs, and I got reminded of this yesterday, and it's always the same story. It's nothing really special. See, most entrepreneurs come in and they have a way that they want things to go, and they're trying to solve the problem with their solution. And I've done it too, so I'm as guilty as anybody, but I've learned and grown through it. That's why I'm sharing my experiences, right? That's ultimately what this is about to me, is going ahead and helping someone out that has the same problems that I had at one point in time. So the entrepreneur says, hey, this is how I want it to be. And they're like, no, this is my problem. This is my problem. Well, guess what? Sales cures all. It does. You want to raise money? You want to partner? You want to expand? You want to hire that new employee? Whatever it is, sales cures all. So here's the thing. Most people in most organizations don't have a sales playbook. What's a sales playbook consist of? It's a clearly defined way that you do business. It's a standard that you set within your organization. It's coaching and training, whether it's you yourself and you're a one-man or woman band, or you have 300 employees. It's a standard that you set. There's a whole lot of discussion out there about, hey, you know what? Sales, this new way of doing sales, this new way of doing that. Listen, I don't know about you guys, but if I'm going to transact with somebody and they treat me good, I'm more likely to give them my money. And if they have a clearly defined process that adds value and helps me in the decision-making process, and they have trusted professionals and or they're a trusted professional that can clearly articulate their message. And I can tell you, I've seen this in my own challenges, right? Like sometimes you get confident in your abilities and you know the value that you're bringing and you know what you have, but it doesn't matter. One of the great things that I'm learning here in social media and in YouTube or whatever the case may be is how do you convey that value? And the reality is sales isn't something that's sleazy, right? Sales, as we know, as we're seeing it right now all over social media, all over the world, is we're realizing that sales is the lifeblood to an organization. It's not just sales, but upsells, repeat and retention, lifetime customer value. What does that mean? These are the buzzwords that are going around. But so you have to ask yourself, have you went ahead and clearly identified that? Have you obsessed with the end user's experience? See, that's the other thing. So when you go in and you begin to master sales, there's techniques that you have to think about. There's techniques for selling to create efficiencies, right? Because at the end of the day, if you have a product or a good or a service that you know can help someone, well, guess what? It's your job to get out there and convince them, right? Because what happens if there's a bad actor out there? Like, what happens if one of your competitors, you know you have a superior product? Well, guess what? The universe, the world, the client, the customer is not going to reward the better product most of the time. Most of the time, it's not. Most of the time, it's going to reward the person with the better sales process and with the people with the better salespeople. So as an early entrepreneur, before you get into these bigger things, before you get into bigger and better, because there's a whole lot of it, we'll talk about data, we'll talk about leadership, we'll talk about an operating system, we'll talk about mergers and acquisitions, we'll talk about growth and scale. You're not going to make it there, and when you do, you're going to cut a bad deal for yourself if you don't have a strong sales unit. Because people are going to come in, hey, you know, what's lifetime customer value? I mean, what's this customer worth? How long do they stay with us? What do they do? What's the recurring revenue? How much money, you know what I'm saying? What's a customer worth? Are we spending all our time acquiring new customers and sold them on such a high level and have such excellent products for them that all happens? But it happens when you master sales. All these things, and that's obviously a bigger conversation, you know, building out a sales playbook. If you're an established company and you don't have one, I can tell you based on where your sales at, it's hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars that it can mean to your organization by having a clearly well-documented sales playbook. And that's one of the things that we specialize in, that we've done for our companies, is we have a sales playbook. And that's what enabled us to perform above market in all our businesses. One of the beautiful things about entrepreneurship is the ability to give back and the ability to actually make a positive impact. Because listen, the road can be challenging as an entrepreneur, right? When you can take a man or a woman from a career that felt meaningless and you can give them a good or a service that adds value to the end user's life, and then you can teach them, that's what sales is. Sales is learning how to convey what the product is that you have to the end user and using your influence in order to influence. Now, ethics and integrity, one of the things that we pride ourselves on, and one of the things that Joey Battista stands for in business and in sales, is it's straight commerce with me. It's straight commerce. I provide you a good or a service. It meets or exceeds your expectations. You pay me for it. You continue to do business with me. I'm not afraid to ask you for money. I'm not afraid to make money on you because I've obsessed with the fact of the value that I'm giving you, that you're making a mistake not accepting it into your business or into your life. Now, and I wouldn't have that level of confidence had I not perfected the second thing of sales. So I want you to think about that and think about that really hard, whether you're started or you're an established entrepreneur. You know, do you have a sales playbook? The third thing, marketing. It's absolutely essential if you're an early level entrepreneur. Like, how do people know about you? You have organic and you have paid, but one thing's for absolutely certain, you have to market. I look at sales and marketing and the way that we teach it in our organizations, our companies, and the way that we believe it is sales and marketing are brother and sister. They're cousins, husband and wife. They go together hand in hand. So the thing is you can't really assess either without having them both dialed in because it's an ebb and a flow. You're constantly playing with the marketing and then you're assessing the conversions and the sales and everything like that. So sales cures everything, but how do you get sales? We talked about that. You go ahead and you train and you develop and you coach and you do it. But where do the customers come from? And we can get in and it's a bigger conversation. Is it organic or is it paid, right? So there's two big types, and we'll go ahead. There's two big types here. We got organic, and we got paid marketing. And there's a really big difference, right? Because organic takes time. You can start right now on. Paid is putting gas on it. It's not either or, it's both. So here's what I want you to think about when you're going in and you're starting as an entrepreneur, you're running your company. You know, I see people all the time. One of the big things is, you know, if I come in and look at a business, the first thing I want to do is I want to see the financial statement because it'll tell me the level of commitment. It'll tell me how the operator operates. And I see people come in and they have these big, humongous sales goals, but then they're unrealistic in the aspect of how much marketing dollars it takes to hit it. And here's another thing. Even if you're master of the universe at organic, and your organic is through the roof, paid is just another opportunity. Like, for example, if you're a master of the universe at paid, why wouldn't you do organic? But if you do organic and then you do paid and it helps you fuel it, and we can get into the nuances of, get into the weeds and talk about marketing in another day. The big thing that I want you to take away right now is there's so many things that people come in and get you to do when you're starting a business. There'll be so many people coming at you, or when you're running a business, there's a lot of people coming at you telling, hey, we got this, mission, this, that, whatever the coaching may be, right? So the thing that you're giving is focus, okay? Sure, you go in and you pay X dollars to a coach or whatever the case may be, but is that coach keeping you on the highest value activities? Now, if you've already mastered these three, then you go on to the next case. Keep in mind that this video is where you started. But with the marketing, the big thing is it's not either or, organic or paid. So the question is what is the best marketing for you? And people get in there, and that's a bigger conversation. People have myths about marketing, but I want to give you the high level view on it. I want to share something with you, why it's so important. Remember, marketing is going to drive your sales, okay? And the reason why it's so important, we talked about sales to drive them, but the reason why marketing is so important to do that is because I could come into any business and you will have goodwill. You should have some goodwill built up in your company, whether it be with your employees, whether it be with your investors, whether it be with your vendors, whether it be with your customers, your clients, right? So you have goodwill that you build up. But I could come into that business and at the expense of that, I could drum up some short-term profit. However, once I drum those up, what am I doing to market both organically, right? Because part of marketing organically is taking care of your existing customer base, focusing on the whole customer experience life cycle. But what am I doing in the business to raise top line revenue? And the thing is, sales, top line revenue, sales, this is the issue that you have, okay? Because I want to bring this to a conclusion. The issue that you have, okay, is that how are you going to raise your sales? Normally, if you go in there, you're looking at it, it's just another lever to pull. So even if you got great organic sales and business is going good as it could be going right now, this thing is, you're going to have, which brings me to the conclusion, you're going to have this skill mastered. Because this is going to have to be a lever that you always have. Because nobody goes into business and for 20 years never has a problem with sales. But here's the thing. When you go in there and you bring it all together, you need to be able to pull that lever. So it's a skill. Remember, when we started this out, 3 things every early entrepreneur must have, and 3 things that every entrepreneur must do. These are skills. You're going to have financial management. You're going to have to be more than proficient in sales, and you're going to have to be more than proficient in marketing. Hey guys, listen, if you found value in this video, okay, we have a free school community, right? The Battista Academy. We're doing a free live Q&A every Tuesday at 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. So we'll drop the link below, and you can go ahead and you can connect with me for absolutely free in the school community. Look forward to seeing you there.